Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Pumpkin Cup Handmade. Here we are with another junk journal. This book started out so little and like almost no spine. It was just a little teeny book that I got at an estate sale. I got 2 of them actually, and I've only just made a journal out of the one. The other one I'm not sure if I want to do anything with, because the man who gave it to his wife wrote down such sweet sentiments in it. I'm not sure that I want to give that up quite yet. So, here's this one. Had no sentiments in it whatsoever, of a personal nature. So, I left it as is. I took votes from my Facebook page and asked people what do I need on this, and everybody just said leave it. Except one. She said add a poem. I might still do that on the inside, but I'll leave the cover blank. Except for this adorable image. Isn't that pretty? The spine is covered with my first attempt at sewing a ruffle. It was the first attempt. It'll get better, right? Okay. I closed it with eyelets and, what is this? Muslin. Good and sturdy. It's a 1-inch spine. There are 3 signatures. There's a lot of pages, a lot of space in this journal. Excuse me. Okay, so here we go. I tried something new on the inside front covers. I've added some embossing that I thought turned out really cool. It doesn't quite go down all the way, so I added some edge punch. But I thought it turned out really pretty. Okay, here's the book plate. On this side we have a tuck spot that I made out of, a little pocket that I made out of a certain brand of tea. I don't know if they all do. It came in this little pouch. And so I thought, well, why not make a pocket out of it in a journal? So I did. I added some lace trim and some bling. And inside that pocket, there is this piece of ephemera. Now, it had this image on both sides. I'm all for ephemera, but if it doesn't have a purpose, like being able to journal on it, I'm not sure what the point is for it. Maybe I'm just not seeing the point, I'm not sure. But regardless, I put some tea-dyed paper on the back and then sewed around. There's also in that pocket this tag with a Tim Holtz sentiment, you will find it, and a key stamp. And we have Nectar's Creation postcard, goodness. And then I've sewn around it and backed it with cardstock and stamped. Some vintage music paper with a fabric tab, a lace tab. Some ledger paper. There's a paper bag with some lace trim. Inside we have this journal card, which is made Nectar's Creations in her travel junk journal digital kit. There is a page that has just line paper. So I printed that out onto cardstock and cut it to size and put it for journal cards. And then I stamped in the corner. Recipe card. Here's a vintage book page all about the wonders of the world. Back in the 60s, I do believe. Some washi tape. Ferns and vines from my botanical book. Here's a corner tuck that I punched the corner, stamped it, and you can journal on that. This is the nicest image. Oh, I like to use this too often. It's so pretty. From Nick the Booksmith. I love this image. And stamp the back. Some tea-dyed paper. Journal prompt paper. Lots of space for journaling. I just said this word too, didn't I? Ledger paper, goodness. Some pretty pattern paper with some nice trim. Here is an actual page from the book. And I've hinged it together to put it in the center. And it says, "Joy is when we see a lovely flower and no one else has noticed." Isn't that pretty? Then on this side, it's just lined cardstock, some falling leaves. Within my heart, I punched a heart. More lace trim, pattern paper, lots and lots of space for writing down thoughts and poems and quotes and everything. There's another corner tack. I punch the corner and stamped. This tag I got for my birthday. My son and daughter-in-law gave me a jar full of all of these stamps. Now, you can play a game with this if you like, because I do believe I put all of these stamps in this journal. At least once. Wonders of the World. Recipe card. The other side of the bag. More lace trim. Inside we have this altered trading card. I got this in a swap from Carol Laws. I put the stamp and she did all of the rest. Isn't that pretty? Thank you, Carol. There we go. And I made this journal card. It's on heavy file folder. More ledger paper. Vintage music paper. Here we have the other half of that paper and another pocket tuck spot with some more lace trim and some bling inside the pocket. It's this tag, which I've made with heavy cardstock, and then I've just fabric tacked some fabric onto it and stamped it, and some seam binding trim. And this tag says, "I know that I am home," with a key. I figure if you know you're home, you should probably have a key to the home. More Nectar's Creation, and I backed it onto cardstock and sewed around it. And that is the first signature. The second, this is half of Yvonne Preston's digital image. The other half is further along. I made it into a tuck spot for this tag that I've made. You can journal on the back. This paper I had in my stash, and it's like shiny, glossy on both sides, and that's not really fun to write on. Your ink smears, it's just not fun. So I backed it with tea-dyed paper, lined paper, and sewed all around it. So you're pretty safe now. No smearage. Pretty pattern paper with some trim, an index card on this side, and a Patricia book page tuck spot with 2 paper flowers. And the tag is a reindeer, stamping, and trims. I like the way that one turned out. This is from a book I got at a yard sale, an address book, and they had beautiful images in it, so I included one in this book. It fit perfectly. And I mean, you could put names and addresses and telephone numbers, I suppose, but I figure it's just lines for journaling. An altered envelope. In this pocket, we have a journal card that I've made, and a little tag that I've made, and I thought it looked like a package, so I tied a bow to it. This tag that I've made, and this lace trim has flowers on either side, but it was like too big to fit in the envelope, so I cut off the extra flowers, and they just kind of fell apart from each other, separated. I'll show you what I did with them. We have a Tsunami Rose ephemera tuck spot for this little postcard. Another journal front page. This is another image from the book. I've added the lace trim. I put it on heavy cardstock, and then you can flip out, and the lined cardstock is the hinge, and you can just journal everywhere. Here's what I did with those flowers. It just kind of came apart from each other. This is my very first ever fabric flip. Some lace trim and just all those little flowers. I like the poem on the page. If you're not into poetry, you don't really care to read a poem, just sew it out and you can write on top of it. Lined cardstock for a pocket. And this Nectar's Creation postcard. Edith Holden book page. The other half of the envelope with another Tsunami Rose ephemera piece for a tuck spot for this. Like 3 pages of vintage lined paper that I put together with washi tape and staples. And then the tag in the pocket in the envelope is this beauty with a little teeny tag on top. You can put a date on, and a pineapple. This, oh, what is her name? I wrote it down. Let me see. Hang on. Okay. The one on the very bottom. I got it at her YouTube channel. She does all of these wonderful instructional videos, and this was one of them, was this flower that I've made with a mini cupcake liner. And then I did this journal card with Tsunami Rose ephemera and Tim Holtz sentiment. And you can journal on the back. And another little present. Other half of the address book with another great poem on the other side. Again, if you can write on top and the bottom, or just gesso the whole thing. Excuse me. Another Patricia tuck spot, a couple of paper flowers, and a butterfly. And basically the same with just different trims and a different color reindeer. But I really liked them. Thought they would turn out really cute. Index card. Pattern paper, so pretty. A burst of color, that's what I like. Lots of journaling space. Here's the other half of the Yvonne Preston digital image. Goodness, couldn't think of that word. And a heavy-duty file folder with one of my new stamps. You can journal on that. End of the second signature. Here we go with the third. We have paper clip holding in an altered envelope. This is an image from the book. Lace trim on top and bottom. Stamped. And inside we have another journal card from Nectar's Creation. Another pocket with some lace trim and bling. This is a Tsunami Roses ephemera kit. Nice little queen on a paint chip. And I found some brown paper, I don't know where I got it, in my stash to journal on. A vintage how to decorate your house in the 50s. Vintage music paper, lace tab, a glassine bag with some trim. Inside is another beautiful creation from Carol Laws. I just added the fabric tab to pull it out. Probably didn't need it, but I guess I was in a tab mood. Here's another lace tab. And and this folds out. And then it's also a tuck spot for this journal card that I got off Pinterest, and then I did the stamp and the fabric trim, we'll call it that. And I backed it with lined cardstock for journaling. This is a vintage gardening book. Another fabric tab on the botanical page, book page. Here is some wrapping paper I got from somebody, I don't know who, but it's really kind of cool to put in a journal. A vintage children's book. I've embossed a piece of paper to use as a tuck spot for this lady. That is a free download off Junk Journal Junkies. And then I watched a Paula Lemon video, and she, you know how you kind of diagonally cut your glassine bags, the side that's not open, and then you just discard it. Well, she didn't on this one. She used it as a tuck spot. I thought, oh my gosh, how cool. So I did it. We have some Tim Holtz images and a little tag with a teapot. More of the botanical book with another lace tab. Another flip out with another tag from Pinterest. Stamped clock face, some ribbon trim, back to a cardstock. There is the glassine bag that I took that piece from. And then I have a template for this envelope. So I added this journal card. It's bigger. I just cut it down to fit in the journal. It fit in the envelope, excuse me. Comes from Junk Journal Junkies, a free download. More book page. And more trim and bling for this gentleman. He looks nice in blue. And brown paper on the back. And here we have another altered envelope. This one is my favorite, I think. Vintage trim, top and bottom, a butterfly with some bling, and of course a page from the book. I sewed it onto the envelope. Nectar's Creation journal card. And then on the back we have different but still embossed paper for my little birds. Thought that turned out cute. And some edge punched. And that is my latest. This one is for sale on my Facebook page, Pumpkin Cup Handmade. Just come to the Facebook page, or you can like on this page on the YouTube channel and just say I want it and I have it. Thank you for watching, for liking and subscribing. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.